This week, we'll be watching Starchaser, Legend of Orin, a 1985 animated science fiction fantasy directed by Stephen Hart and written by Jeffrey Scott. It was also one of the first animated movies to use 3D animation, and trust me, it shows. And if you couldn't tell already, it's trying to be some type of space movie. Though I can't tell which one it's trying to be. Couldn't possibly tell. Deep underground in Mind World, an entire planet of human miners spends their whole lives digging for crystals. Here we meet our hero Orin, an 80s haired Luke Skywalker stand-in, and his girl, Alon, who is totally gonna play an important role in this movie, along with her grandpa Hops and Orin's blind younger brother Kel. And holy shit, this movie definitely isn't Disney. Along with curb-stomping blind children, these stormtrooper Cylon slaver clones would beat up anyone in their way and could shake their fists even harder. Turns out they're being summoned for a sermon given by the terrible Darth Zygon, who tells them that the gods demand more crystals for their life-giving energy. Well, by looking at the life of those miners, I doubt those crystals are doing any good. Anyway, he gives them burnt bread and sends them on their way. Later, Orin finds a sword in the ground because he's the chosen one or something. And the first thing Lil Mitch Bitch wants to do is snitch to the pigs, but good thing Hops shuts him up real quick. No Spartan kick or anything. Honestly, I would have at least given them a backhand. Hops is about to explain to them what the sword is, but a guard comes along. So instead of acting normal, Gramps launches himself kamikaze style and gets himself killed. Oh my god, this kills me. This dude's first plan was to run headfirst into a robot with a pickaxe and not tell anyone else his plan. Not even a heads up. Orin and Alon are left so confused why he did it too. Of course, Mr. Loverboy over here thinks it's the best time to try and work his magic. Talking about magic, the sword starts glowing and God, or at the very least Space Santa Claus, comes to tell them about the mythical world above, leaving them saying,
"Find the blade, and you will find your freedom."
Oh shit, man, I could have sworn the blade was just here. Other miners don't believe in the glowing, white-robed, and long-bearded individual that peered from a fucking glowing sword because... Man, and I thought flat earthers were ignorant. The non-believer tries to take the hilt away, but Orin gives him the old bonk on the noggin. Naturally, he has to hug his girl before his blind brother, though. You know the saying, hoes before blind bros. Orin and Alon decide that they need to find this world above together and try to leave, but Callie puts on his best, little annoying brother voice.
Hey, don't leave me on.
That makes me want to loop the time he got big booted. That's better. So they continue on their way, but somehow, blind Macaulay Culkin catches up to them and they have to save his ass. Seriously, how did a blind child manage to keep up with some souped-up hormonal teens in a cave? That's like saying Stephen Hawking would have caught up with Usain Bolt on the top floor of the Empire State Building without taking the elevator. Like how? Also, they one-shot a guard with a regular mining laser. Isn't the first rule of slavekeeping not to give them better weapons than what you have? Anyways, this alerts the rest of the guards, so they have to escape the only way they can, by taking the shittiest ride in Epcot. Bad backgrounds be damned. They jump into the crystals and try to hide underneath them to avoid a burning death, but instead, it's a sci-fi corridor. What a twist. And after no clipping into the back rooms, they're cornered by an animation error Zygon and tells them,
"You now know what only one other slave has known in the last 1,200 years.
He's some guy. Like, seriously? The big reveal is that he's gray? Wow, he's even more intimidating now that we know sunscreen won't work on him. But that doesn't stop him from going Captain Antilles on Alana. And there goes our main girl. Man, I thought she'd be in here for the long run, and she died 13 minutes in. Zygon is about to do the same to Orin, but his interest in the magic sword, he lets his target get away, and his dumb robot bodyguards don't help either. Jeez, that's some life-giving energy. Orin comes back to hug his dead girl one last time before escaping back into the mines. He then spends a 30-second montage spending all of his time digging up until he finally reaches the surface. The universe never looked so good. Seriously, these alien landscape backgrounds are something else. But the surface isn't all flower clams and waterfalls. There are mandroids afoot, and oh my god, his face! Jesus Christ! He's the stuff of nightmares. His eternally open eyes burn directly into my soul, boring holes into my already fragile existence. I can't sleep anymore. I close my eyes, and there he is, never blinking, always staring. Good thing they're dumb though, because they accidentally kill themselves with Orin's magic sword, and he bullshits the remaining one to let him go. After running away, he bumps into Han Solo, vest and all.
You've got exactly 10 seconds to tell me what you're doing in this swamp.
His interest into what Orin is
Doing in my swamp!
reminds me of another vest-wearing hooligan. After Orin saves him from a tentacle monster, the smuggler Dag brings him aboard his spaceship Starchaser, or as he's more commonly referred to as Arthur, our C-3PO with twice the sass.
So impersonal. After all, your body's just a machine made of flesh and blood. How would you like it if I went around calling you Meat Brain?
Jeez, what's up his ass? Dag takes the ship to the mining facility in hopes of getting some of that sweet crystal, blowing up some AT knockoffs in the process. But when throwing some C4 at a metal door doesn't work, he shoots a spaceship with his gun, burning a hole and stealing some crystals. Good to know logic doesn't work in space. Zygon comes out and tries to capture him, but Orin channels his inner Gramps and gets wrecked like the level 1 scrub he is. They escape, but not before kidnapping a random fembot for no reason. Like why? The closest thing I can think of is that she's blaster proof, but still, a laser shoots Orin and he's fine. Never mind, I figured it out. Zygon rambles to himself about the what? The caca? This movie is definitely caca, and it's only getting worse. Dag starts to program Cilia, the fembot, but he's having some trouble.
You're definitely looking in the wrong place. They're in her posterior.
You wouldn't dare.
I don't like where this is going.
And to complete this trifecta of creepiness, afterward, she's all over him. God damn, this is uncomfortable. Can we get a hashtag #MeToo going on Dag? So they fly to what's supposed to be a hive of scum and villainy, but looks more like a Jackson Pollock. Dag, being the total douche nugget that he is, immediately sells Cilia in the most fuckboy way possible.
Don't waste your tears on me, honey. You'll rust.
Damn, homeboy is a thought breaker. Dag then goes off to encounter racist stereotype number 1 to sell off his crystals, and gets dissed pretty bad out the door.
One of my nosy men thought he saw you with a young boy this evening. My girls do not excite you anymore.
Ugh, God, I don't know how much more of this I can take, but damn, that was a good burn. Meanwhile, Orin is trying to find his missing blade, but luckily he comes across Cilia getting auctioned off, and because apparently Orin didn't grow up in a capitalist society, doesn't even know what money is, and Dag is stuck with the bill. While they're trying to leave, they're chased by Zygon's goons, and God, they are dumb because they fall for the oldest trick in the book. They all escape, and as a mark of becoming one of the crew, Orin gets his very own space vest. Their next pit stop is Racist Stereotypes 2 and 3.
You have the money?
God, he even makes fun of Italians. What a monster. They pay for their crystals and go on their way, but little Miss Tinkerbell pops up and almost gets shot with a Glock and warns them that they were paid in explosives. But hey, it's not like they could have just dropped just the bomb, not the whole box, coins and all. How's that for a return policy? After leaving a scorched hole in the sand, they get shot down on another planet? Or maybe it's the same planet. I don't know. But hey, it's that one girl from the auction. What a coincidence.
Elon?
Yeah, they even share the same face model, so it's pretty easy to get them switched around. But here we finally meet our Princess Leia clone, and God, does Orin forget about Alana pretty quick. While he's breaking Alviana's bed, Dag is getting the Han Solo package at the spa. But that's not as important, because Alviana's exposition machine tells them of the sword's past and its masters, leading them to head back to Orin's home planet. Alviana tries her best girl boss attitude and tells her robot guardian to blast the guard. And in a shocking move, Orin rips off of Star Wars 14 years before The Phantom Menace. But to no one's surprise, they're immediately caught by Zygon, who reveals himself to be not just any robot, but...
I am the robot.
Thanks for making that distinction. Here I was about to confuse him with R2-D2. And being the maniacal Bond villain he is, Zygon reveals that his robots are about to conquer the universe. He then throws them into a jail instead of killing them, because reasons. And of course, it's right next to Dag's cell. While making plans to destroy the last human planet with his fleet, Zygon leaves the hilt out in the open because... reasons. But instead, he orders Alviana to be on the capital ship because...
It won't be long before Morbro realizes his daughter is missing and tracks her here. If he discovers what we're doing, he could mount a counteroffensive.
And damn, right when they're about to get freaky too. Orin's mad salty, Zygon's cockblock him for the last time, goddammit. Thankfully, the floating ball of space magic comes back and gets a guard to kill himself. God, I wish that were me right now. And gets the unguarded hilt. Like, seriously, Zygon is dumb. Oh, what's that noise? Eh, whatever, I got spacecrafts to look at. Orin frees himself in
I
Dag.
don't even know where she is. If you want to get out of here alive, follow me.
He doesn't.
Damn.
So they try and sneak on board the flagship with Orin's brilliant plan.
We'll just have to do our best.
Gee, why didn't I think of that?
Hey, turns out to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. And Dag doesn't even have to punch a robot. They make it to the bridge after the fleet jumps to hyperspace and take control of the flagship. By now, Zygon notices what an idiot he's been, leaving a precious sword out in the open. Doesn't even put it in like a box or anything. And orders all the fighters to attack the flagship. Celia and Arthur join in after repairing the ship and help the trio destroy the fighters. But now, they have to stop all the hundreds of ships about to destroy Alviana's planet. What will our heroes do?
No operating manual.
But flying My Little Animator's first project tells Dag which button it is that blows up all the missiles. Gee, I wonder what the thought process behind that button was. So they save Bordogan or whatever and go back to kick Zygon's ass, but they get caught in a tractor beam.
Damn, a tractor
But
beam.
then get saved when Celia and Arthur take their place? I don't think tractor beams work like that. But they get saved by some random fighter that takes their place, so take that, science. They get shot down, but somehow they walk away without a scratch. Scratch that. Dag broke his leg, so I guess they got away somewhat fine. I mean, it's not like the ship flipped onto its cockpit or anything. Orin has to go and channel his inner Poochie.
I must go now to free my people.
And Aviana follows him like a brain-dead zombie. Orin makes it back to Mind World and tells his people about the world above.
Speak up, boy! I can't hear you from up there!
But Zygon arrives and they start the throwdown. Aviana arrives with no situational awareness at all and immediately gets captured. Orin, who doesn't want to see another potential nut get choked out by another man, gives Zygon his sword. Stupid move, kid. Orin gets chokeslammed over the edge. And here, at his lowest point, the magic Fushigi ball finally reveals its secret. There never was a blade. What the fuck? Then what was the old man in the blade talking about then?
Find the blade.
Orin manifests the sword from nothing and again rips off Phantom Menace before it was even made. Man, they're really dedicated to this Star Wars ripoff shit. The cave starts to collapse, so Orin, the man with all the great plans, throws the sword at the ceiling and splits the land in two. Moses, step aside, there's a new miracle boy in town, and he's not done yet. They make it outside of Freedom, and because he's Space Jesus at this point, cures his brother of his blindness.
I can see again.
The floating plot conveniences come back and reveal themselves to be the old dudes who've used the sword before and offer Orin immortality. Dude's finally about to get his nut, decides he wants to...
Not yet. I'd like to stretch my legs for a few decades.
Yeah, and a couple other muscles too. And that's Starchaser, and it's surprisingly not half bad. Sure has those Star Wars tropes that every sci-fi movie at the time was imitating, but the animation is great, and like I said before, those backgrounds are painstakingly painted. Sure, the 3D animation is dated, but you gotta appreciate their efforts in trying something new. The story is a little confusing at times, sometimes you don't even know what planet they're on. But in the end, Starchaser is a solid 7 out of 10. Thanks for stopping by Mockbuster, hope you enjoyed my pain. Be sure to leave a like, comment what movie you'd like to see next, and don't forget to subscribe.